Hey guys, it's Caleb here. Sorry I haven't done a video in a while. There's been just this has just been a really rough time these past several weeks and all this stuff with all this COVID-19 and things have changed so much. So today I'm going to be doing an update on the COVID-19 in the amusement park industry. And I'm going to answer the main topic here is how and when will amusement parks open for the 2020 season. Let's recap a little bit of, here's the thing, if you remember some of my videos, here are some of the things that I think I said. I think the last video I did was about when Cedar Fair delayed all openings to mid-May. I think that was my last video, but it's been a while, so a lot of things have changed since then, so here's the things that's gonna go. I wanna put out here right now, this is Cedar Fair. Things have changed, even though they are still saying it. I want to say it is not going to be mid-May by the way things are looking right now. There is absolutely no way. If you know, I live in Ohio, right near Kings Island, and I've been listening to our governor, Mike DeWine. Mike DeWine, Dr. Amy Acton, I've been listening to both, and the way things are looking is that they're starting May 1st, they're going to be we're going to be starting a processed opening of the state. And May 1st should start phase 1, which means the way it looks is like restaurants can reopen things can start to reopen, but with very strict social distancing guidelines. Probably every other table, be all spread out and all that. So, and you'll still be told to shelter in place and stuff. So I think we'll see the stay-at-home order extended again. So things are... Alright, back to amusement parks. The way amusement parks, according to this, I'm also looking at the plan that the federal government revealed, where phase 2 is when you can start having large venues open up. But I just want to clarify this right now. Do not expect to have concerts, conventions, or festivals, or major events this summer. I'm putting it out there right now. Do not expect this, or even sporting events. If sports were to resume, expect it to be no fans. Don't expect to be going to any sporting events this summer, at least. And there's talk about probably not in the fall either, because the fall could be when a second wave starts. So don't expect any mass gathering events, possibly the rest of the year. I want to say it right now. Now, amusement parks. A lot of people say, it's kind of confusing, but amusement parks aren't really considered an event, because they're a business. So, maybe the way it could work, but let's look at how things could, how this could work. I'm not, Disney, the way things are looking for them, which, by the way, I don't think I've done a video in this, but they are now closed indefinitely. Them and SeaWorld have stated they're closed indefinitely. That's how things are. Yeah, they are closed indefinitely. So that's how things are. So, they're... Now, so, the way it's talked about, Bob Iger, he talked about having temperature checks at the entrance, and I do expect to see temperature checks. After 9/11, you had that was when basically security and the metal detectors and all that before going into large places with a lot of people. became the norm after 9/11, even though they kind of went away at places like Kings Island. And Kings Island took away the metal detectors in like 2012 and then brought them back in 20, and then these major mass shootings in like Orlando or Las Vegas start like basically caused these like metal detectors to be reintroduced and come back bigger and stronger, and security to come back big and stronger. I expect this COVID-19 pandemic to address things before entering big events or big large venues, like even more, like probably with more temperature checks. And the next thing I want to mention is stuff that I'm not really a big fan of, and I'm sure because, I'm not really a big fan of it at an amusement park, or like things, but masks. I expect at least a few parks, if not a bunch of parks, to start requiring you to have a face covering, like, during your visit. The reason I'm not a fan of that is not because it looks bad. They protect you. They don't protect you, but they protect others. It's just when you're wearing a mask when it's really, really hot out and humid, it makes it so that it, like, where, like, it's uncomfortable, makes it, like, you sweat under there, makes it kind of stick. I've heard it's not great. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of that. But the thing is, whether you like it or not, you're gonna see this kind of stuff, at least until there's a vaccine. And a vaccine is not likely supposed to be available for at least another year. So, also, and this is the one that we don't want to see, there might be some parks that just will not open at all this year. That just will not open. Like, I know that I'm not really saying it, and I'm not really, like, expecting it, and I'm not really jumping to that conclusion, but it is a legitimate thing that is a possibility. Will amusement parks stay closed all year? Stay closed all season? Like seasonal parks, like Cedar Point or Kings Island, could they just cancel the 2020 season and or make, like, Kings Island could make Orion the 2021 edition? Could they do that? Which, by the way, they did just extend passes to 2021. That may not mean that the season's definitely canceled, but I do think they do expect that this season will be a shortened one, especially since there's a threat of a second wave in the fall, which could really affect Halloween Haunt and Winterfest. So if all we get is like June, July, or in August in our season, that wouldn't be the most for a season pass. So why not roll it over to next year? And why not roll it over the next year to get people a whole season next year? And I want to bring it to another thing. Do not expect any I don't expect, or let me take it this way. Expect little to no investments in 2021. I never did a video on this. If you've been following the coaster community these past couple weeks, you know that Dorney Park was supposedly building a Gravity Group shuttle coaster, but has been withdrawn. I could see it because of this pandemic. I do not think we will be seeing coasters in 2021, maybe. Even Cedar Fair came out and said that they're going to be cutting some capital investments for 2021 and probably this year. But that would be more like smaller additions and move them over to next year in 2022. So I expect coasters and big investments that have been planned for like 2021 to like probably be shifted over to 2022 and beyond. Also, expect if your park is like Kings Island or Carowinds or Canada's Wonderland, who has gotten a coaster these last 2 years, that has gotten a coaster in 2020 or last year, or even maybe Cedar Point, expect an extended gap between the next coaster they get, because Cedar Fair is going to lose some money this year. they're not going to make that much this year because one, there are going to be people probably scared to go to the park because of this pandemic, and two, these next couple years are not going to be great economically because we're supposedly going into a recession or even a depression. So, do not expect, if your park has gotten a new coaster the last couple of years, or is getting the coaster this year, do not expect another coaster for a while. I'd say I've covered everything. Also, parks are going to likely limit capacity. They're going to likely limit it, probably lower capacity. So, you remember last year at Cedar Point where they had to turn people away because, they were just jam-packed shoulder to shoulder at Halloween? I'm not expecting that this year. I do expect them to be turning people away because capacity is going to be much lower. Because, you can't have people shoulder to shoulder jam-packed when there's a large pandemic going around that is highly contagious. So, don't expect that. Also, let me think here. I was going to say something. So, when do I think parks are going to open? It'll depend. It'll depend on the state, because parks are not going to have the final say on when they're going to open. It'll be up to the state and local governments. So, for Kings Island and Cedar Point, I expect a soft opening in June or July. Somewhere around there. And that is if we can move on to Phase 2 in the thing. Because these phases are supposed to last 14 weeks. No, not 14 weeks. 14 days. They're supposed to last 14 days. And that's only if they have a steady decline for those 14 days in cases and deaths. Or is it just cases? I'm sorry, I don't know much about this, but you have to have a steady decline for like 14 days. Which is something I don't really expect to happen. So I expect each phase to last at least a month. So that puts us in June or July for a potential opening. And it's not going to be just like that, they're open. It's going to be a soft opening with again, limited capacity, temperature checks, and likely mandatory masks or face coverings. Oh, and here's another thing. This is what I was going to say. Could we see parks adopt the virtual queue? Because I know that, because in a queue line, you're usually jam-packed with people. Expect the virtual queue. Okay, so, that it's like a virtual thing. You get a time. It's kind of like a boarding pass kind of thing. So, mainly expect that for indoor rides. But, because Disney's already doing it on some rides, but I expect the virtual queue to be that way. So, thank you for watching, and sorry for the long video, but this is stuff I had to get out there. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with friends, and turn on the post notifications so you cannot miss another Hawaiian Coasters 325 video. I'll see you guys later.